Hey everyone, how are you today? Today we're going to talk about student loans. Student loans. Does anybody have a student loan out there? I know I am talking to a bunch of different kind of people out here. Got your professionals I'm talking to that are watching me. I got my hood people out here who are watching me. You know it's good to have hood people, right? Because they're going to protect you. So I like all different kinds of people. But today we're going to talk about student loans. What is going on with student loans? All right, so President Biden, he has a new plan for student loans. It is called the SAVE Plan, SAVE. It's a new economic driven repayment plan. It's for 20 million people. And I actually like the plan. So I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons. This is for people who still have student loans. So student loans are expected to go back into effect in October. As you know, as a result of COVID, they put student loans on pause. So they plan for payments to start back up in October. So if anybody from the White House is watching, perhaps you can do something better than the plan, and that is you can pause loans again. You can put them on pause again, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the new SAVE plan, SAVE. So, you know, the Supreme Court, they denied student loan forgiveness, right? So, this is the alternative that they came up with called the SAVE plan. So, payments, they're going to be based on your income and your family size, income and family size. So, I know a lot of people lost their jobs during the pandemic, laid off, hours cut, you know, a whole bunch of different things going on. So, with the payments restarting in October, if you are unemployed, give the office a call and let them know what your income is. Or if your hours have been cut back, give the office a call and let them know what your income is, because it is based on these two factors: your income and your family size. So if the income is not where it needs to be, just let them know. That's what they're basing the payments on: income and family size. So you're saving money on payments because your payments will be lower payments. So that's going to be the result of this SAVE plan. It's supposed to be starting back up in October. The payments are going to be lower. This is the alternative to the Supreme Court's decision not to forgive student loans. So 1 million people are going to qualify for $0 in payments. Because again, it's based off of what is your income and what is your family size. So 1 million people will qualify for zero payments. You're going to end up saving around $1,000 a year because they're cutting some of the interest. The interest is not going to balloon. The interest does not accrue, right? So, for example, if you have a $19,000 loan, for example, it's going to take a long time to pay it off because your payments are going to be smaller payments. And then for every additional $1,000 of the loan, it's going to take longer to pay the loan off. So the reason why I like it is because they do take into account, do you have a job? Are you having a hard time finding a job? So again, it's based off of your income, based off of your family size. So with that in mind, having a lower payment, The goal is still to pay this loan off and get rid of it. Because with the lower payments, that means the payments are going to be smaller, but they're going to linger on longer. So year after year after year, the student loan is still here, and then it's still here, and then it's still here. And then 10 years later, it's still here. And then 11 years later, it's still here. Right? So I do like the fact that the loan will be smaller, but what you can do is use the bigger money that you have and just focus on getting rid of it. Focus on getting rid of it, when you get into a better position. Like we're all in different positions. When you get into a better position, just focus on paying more than what is owed and getting rid of it instead of letting it linger, right? Because with the new plan, it's going to linger, right? It's going to linger. So, like I said before, they do expect for it to start back up in October. If anyone is watching, you can feel free to pause the loans again. So, because the payments are smaller, it's going to take longer to pay it off. Be paid off 10 years from now, 11 years from now, 25 years from now, 30 years from now, depending on how much you owe. So it is a lower payment that makes it more feasible for some people. It also can help you to pay it off faster because you're paying more than what you owe. And just keep throwing money at it until you can get rid of it. Right? So with the lower payment, you can start the snowball, right? Where you find your smallest debt, pay that off, then go to the next one. Until you pay it off. So I do believe in paying off debt, but I also believe in acquiring assets. I don't believe in waiting until all your debt is paid off before you start acquiring assets. Because for some people, if you did that, then you may not pay your debt off for another 10 years, right? So you're going to wait 10 years to start acquiring assets? No, you're not. So I do believe that you should start acquiring assets right now, no matter what your debt level is. Right? So this is what is going on with the new plan from the Biden administration. Again, it is called the SAVE Plan, SAVE. And again, I do like the plan. It makes the payments smaller and is based on your income and your family size. So if you got crazy things going on in your life, like you lost your job or you got your hours cut, you can reach out to them and let them know. And then they're going to adjust the payment based on what your income is and based on what your family size is. And then the main goal is to figure out ways to make more money than what you're making. Figure out how to make more and then pay it off instead of just paying the minimum. Like you may only be able to pay the minimum now, or you may have to even cut that back, but eventually getting to the point where you have so many businesses going on. You got a business over here, you got a business over here, and then you got a business over here. Then you're taking this money and you're throwing it at that student loan. Right. So, yes, you are paying off debt, but figuring out how to make more money. That's my stance. That is my stance. Right. And so, in the financial industry, different people have different stances depending on how they grew up, what experiences they had. And so, depending on your situation, where you grew up, you may have student loans. Like a lot of people have student loans. And so, figuring out how to make more money. Because one thing is not enough, as I'm sure you're aware of, right? So figuring that out, how to make more money, and you're buying assets. Yes, you have debt over here, but you're not going to let that stop you from buying assets, because the assets is what's going to create your wealth. So if you're just focusing on paying off debt, you could pay down debt. All these years go by, you're paying off debt, paying off debt. Okay, now your debt is down to zero. You have zero debt. Zero debt. But then how much money do you have? Zero debt and no money. Right? So it needs to be more than just paying down debt. So you're paying down debt, but you're also building businesses and you're buying assets. You got two things going on at the same time. So by the time this is over, decades from now, you're in a better position because you have assets. You're in a better position because you have businesses. You figured that out. As opposed to you're just working, you're working your life away. You're working like your life away. Now you have no debt. Hooray. So that'll be two things going on at the same time. All right, that's my stance. And again, that all comes based on where you came from. Some people, we come from I'll just say a different economic situation. And then other people, they come from different economic situations and different family dynamics, right? So you may be the only person in your family holding everything down. Whereas another family, they may have some kind of team unit going on, right? They working in numbers. So all of that matters. All of that matters when it comes to finances. All right, so do me a favor. If you like the channel, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss the episode. Also, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your night.